SpongeBob is a kids show that has been around for more than 20 years. It is filled with plenty of funny and interesting moments that is made for kids to enjoy. However, the writers of the show have made certain episodes with the purpose of influencing kids with the needs to not only get a job, but to love and perfect their work ethic. You may stop to think that this is crazy and it's just a dumb kids show, but when kids are at a young age, that is when they're most influenced. SpongeBob has been looked up upon for a very long time. He is a role model for many kids and has continued to be loved. So let's take a look at the times where the writers of the show influenced kids to get into jobs to contribute to society. Season 1, Episode 1 sparked the start of an inspirational show. This show begins with our main protagonist, SpongeBob, waking up in his house.
Today's the big day, Gary.
SpongeBob goes on to try and fulfill his goals of working at the Krusty Krab, and he will eventually get the job after impressing his boss, Mr. Krabs, after a stellar performance of Krabby Patty making. SpongeBob's debut at the Krusty Krab begins on the very first episode of the show, and even after 24 years of the show running, working at the Krusty Krab is still his pride and joy. This behavior that the main character of a beloved show gives to his job could rub off pretty easily on the audience. Kids watching this will look at their idol and say, if SpongeBob loves his job, then I should love my job too. He is a great role model for work ethic, a virtue today's kids lack. Competition is something you find all across the world. Even with the littlest thing, there's always a statement on whether you win or lose. In Season 4, Episode 14, Bummer Vacation, SpongeBob is forced to take time off work and go on a nice fun vacation. SpongeBob, however, loves his job way too much and doesn't want to go on some dumb vacation. While SpongeBob is away, a replacement is needed to take care of the job. So Mr. Krabs hires SpongeBob's best friend to take over while he's gone. SpongeBob does not like this one bit and begins to freak out the entire episode, wanting what is his back. This episode backs up the whole idea of working is SpongeBob's life, and he doesn't know what to do with himself if he isn't working. Seeing the idea of someone else taking his spot, especially his best friend, is not something anybody wants to see. SpongeBob wants to be the greatest at his job. Not Patrick, not anybody, him. The impact this has on kids sparks the idea of not just wanting to work, but feeling the need to work. That if they were to not work, they would feel wrong. Now you can neglect all of this thinking, these are just 2 episodes and doesn't even have that much impact on kids. But that leaves me with my third and final episode. SpongeBob Season 3, Episode 7, Can You Spare a Dime is a classic. Although this episode is very funny, the writers clearly want the audience to understand something deeper. This episode begins where Squidward has quit his job at the Krusty Krab. His life outside the job force doesn't go well. Squidward ends up being homeless and living in a box on the street. If a kids show is willing to go to the lengths of showing kids one of the main characters being homeless and beaten down, must be some pretty damn good reasoning behind it. SpongeBob pities him and ends up letting him stay at his house until he gets a job. It doesn't take long for Squidward to become a needy freeloader asking for every little thing to be done for him. What does Squidward sound a lot alike right now? A needy child. This idea on Squidward being like this makes the audience, who are mostly kids, hate Squidward in the moment. This makes kids want to avoid being like this, because who in their right mind would want to be like weird, annoying Squidward? This isn't where the episode ends, though. SpongeBob is eventually fed up with Squidward and begins giving him obvious signs of getting a job.
Go fetch me something to read.
Oh, okay. How about this?
While Squidward refuses all of these obvious signs, SpongeBob snaps. This episode, even though it's a kid show, takes the lengths of getting a job to the next level. It is able to yell at the audience that being a freeloader is horrible and getting a job is of uttermost importance. Yes, SpongeBob is a kid's show. Yes, many think it is a ridiculous show that doesn't teach kids anything. But that is the exact reason why the show has the biggest influence on kids. Instead of being a very obvious kid's show with cheesy lessons or morals, it instead disguises itself in the plot and with how much the character is appreciated. Kids do what they see, and if they see a hard-working Sponge that will stop at nothing to keep and perfect his work ethic, then damn it, kids are going to feel the same exact way. Thank you.